Hello, my name is William Butler. Here's the card. All right. Today I will be doing the video project for drugs, alcohol, and crime. And the topic for this assignment was addiction and how it affects the body and what drives a person to commit a crime because of it. So, what is addiction? Addiction is a very, very common term that is often associated with drugs, alcohol, and many other different substances, and smoking as a big public one that is often addressed over TV and radio. The things about addiction is that when someone is addicted to a substance, it tends to hijack their brain. And what that means is the brain, once it is familiarized with whatever it is that the person is doing, it craves more. This is the case with stuff like nicotine, marijuana, literally anything that can cause problems with a person's health for the most part with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And it's just a natural craving. Either this craving can stem off of either good feeling, giddiness, just any sort of related emotion or activity that it strives or gives a person off of taking said substance or drinking said alcohol. With smoking, for example, smoking tends to give off a lightheaded pleasure. It can also give you a slight high if you do a whole lot of it. Marijuana and THC is a bit more elevated on terms, and people tend to do it because it gives them a feeling of pleasure. You got crack and cocaine, which is, well, it's the same thing, just two different terms. The first one was the street term, the other one's the more official name. Well, the reason people will get addicted to that is their brain becomes wired to take more of it as it gives them a sense of stimulant. Whole other subject on that one though. So, with that in mind, your brain gets hardwired from taking all sorts of things that people tend to stimulate themselves with, so to say. So when your brain gets hardwired and you run out of something, it's going to say you need more. So you're going to get more. Well, what if you don't have the money to get more? And what if you don't have the sources to get more? Well, that's where the biggest problems come in besides public health, and that's why it drives people to commit crimes. What I mean by that, burglaries, robberies, violence and just general and stuff like that, all can stem off of people just trying to get either money or substance that they are hardwired to take. So, people will break into houses to get change, so that they can go to their nearest dealer so they can get whatever they were craving beforehand, or buy as much alcohol as possible. They may rob somebody on the street for said money as well. There's even cases of people that are attacking their own drug dealers because they have the substance. And I'm not saying that works out all the time, but it happens. There's a lot of serious crime that actually stems off just from people getting hardwired to whatever addiction that they have. And not just that, but especially when they go through the phases of trying to stop it, sometimes the elevations can get a bit worse. So, on that note, how do you fight it? Well, there's a few ways, and besides just going to see a regular therapist about it, there's actually just a few at-home ways that you can fight addiction or help somebody get through it. The most common one, besides, like I said, straight up just seeing a therapist, the most common and cheapest way is to repeat to yourself certain words or phrases that will draw you away from craving a substance. This is a technique often used with smokers and it has actually been proven to be very effective. However, the biggest thing about breaking an addiction is that you need your mind to be set on breaking said addiction. It is hardwired toward a substance, it's hardwired toward a substance. If you don't want it to be hardwired toward a substance, you've got to make sure it's not hardwired toward that. The mind is a very powerful tool and it can manipulate a lot of things, so if you manipulate it to what you want it to do, it'll do it. There's other ways, such as, well, you got certain things like nicotine lozenges for smoking and other prescribed stuff, and also visual cues plus hypnosis. But that's a whole nother subject on its own. In conclusion, we talked about what addiction was, the term on hardwiring your brain and why it leads to people committing crimes as they do, and how to actually fight it or help somebody fight it, without just straight up seeing a therapist. Well, this has been my video project for addiction and why it causes crimes, and I hope you enjoyed it.